Episode 134. How you living? How you doing? Making music, and I knew it. Sims, Fendrick, Lefkoe, man in the house. How you doing?
You're really doing that now.
I mean, he really is.
He spells his name on everything he does.
I don't think it's cool, but he can go with it. Go ahead.
If any of you can tell me who I'm taking that from.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I grew up with him. You didn't.
You told us who.
Yes, and you said it.
Who?
Copyright infringement. Meth man, call Bleacher Report and tell this white Jewish guy to take back your line.
If we got sued by Method Man because
be
Lefkoe
awesome.
was spelling
then
his name.
honestly, that's called good marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You're
that
right.
would get our name out there.
You're right.
But we don't need our name out there more because it's awesome. It is episode 134. Let's get to some sports. How awesome was that Yankees game last night?
Oh, man, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I actually missed the
wild
bottom of the
card
third
play-in?
because my kids got mad that we were watching the Yankees game.
What do you mean? What do they want to watch?
They were watching in the Loud House. The Loud House. I had to sing
Loud
the
House.
song. You know
Yeah,
Loud
What is
House?
that?
Loud House.
In
You're
the
in a
Loud
Loud House?
House. In the Loud House.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a teachable parent moment for you.
No,
We need to watch Aaron Judge hit
I
this home
changed
run
it
real quick.
only because of my daughter, really. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'll come back and watch it in a minute. I turned it over. I came back into the room, and it was 3-3, and I was like, what the fuck?
It was great.
It was.
And I have no doubt you actually said to your children, what the fuck?
I said I did. I said, fuck
Charlotte,
me.
this
I
is
said-
your fault.
I said, this is my fucking job.
That's amazing. And then, really quick, Monday, both you and I
Yeah.
took Washington plus 6.5.
I felt so bad
plus
for you.
7, and they're down 3, and that stupid fucking laterals that leads to a Kansas City touchdown. I mean, that is one of the biggest betting turnarounds. Not only did it give the game to Kansas City,
Right.
but it went from the under to the over.
Well, Kansas
which
City
is
had the game anyways. But,
but I mean, in terms of the betting line.
right.
Because the betting line was 3. It was
Right.
over. Washington fans are going crazy.
Yeah.
And luckily I didn't have actual money on that game, but that was the experience of being on the wrong side of a historic betting
That was
flip.
amazing. I mean, two things. Josh Johnson, if he catches the touchdown, right, that's automatic.
Josh
You're
Doxson.
Doxson.
First
You're
of all,
going to win.
How
That's
did he
Doxson.
not catch that? He even re-caught it in the air.
I don't know. I mean, he is. Listen, I
He's
was
a special
intrigued
jumping
by the
talent.
way he looks. Right.
Well, that's what he did at TCU.
Yes, it is. He's a big body. The other thing is on that lateral play. Like, this just tells you D linemen. Sometimes they're not the sharpest knife in the cabinet. I mean, Chris Jones, he hit.
Yes.
What, Kirk Cousins?
And then started
and
dancing.
he got up like, it's a sack. And I want to be like, dude, they've thrown it and thrown it back to him. It's not a sack. The play's not over. If you just jump on the ball, it would have been over.
I mean, if Washington lost another defender in that game,
Holy cow.
That's the thing is I left that game going, I was absolutely right. Washington is a very good team, and they're going to be a contender.
They
And
are.
I went, if any other players survive this game.
Yeah.
But Kansas City, Kareem Hunt is fantastic. That Alex Smith is playing great, and Washington's a really good team.
They are.
We'll see who's hurt. But
Minuski has changed their team.
oh,
They are. That was a lot of hard hits in that game. I mean, a lot of guys where, that
Yeah.
I think we got to institute our rule from that game. Like,
What's the rule?
My pet peeve. You know what I mean? How many guys we had to go to a commercial break and they came out for a play and
they
then
were
2
totally
plays
fine.
back, they were back in. I want to be like, no, you got to sit out for a
do
little
you
while.
feel that way about Odell? I mean, his finger got popped out and he was back in. Like, was that?
Yeah, because he should have just caught the freaking ball, first of all. But no, he didn't make you go to a commercial timeout. He ran off the field.
He did have one, though, where he was laying on the field with his leg.
With
and then
his
he came
leg,
back
yes.
out
But
too later.
he also has a legitimate injury, so that's a little different.
Number 34 is who you got?
Oh, Sweetness.
Yep.
Okay, Walter Payton would be number 1. Earl Campbell, Ricky Williams in college and the pros.
You're naming all the ones on my best 34s
Bo
of all
Jackson.
time list. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. Another 3-4. Hold on. That's all I got for now.
Okay. Fendrick, do you have a 34?
I'm pulling up my guy right now. You remember the running back on the Terps that scored point number 50 against the Longhorns in week 1?
I don't remember
My
him.
man Jake, we got the funk. Got to have that funk. That's what they call him.
That's
Number 34
awesome.
on the Terps this year.
I one time was on TV and I said, "Get the funk out of here," like that.
Right.
And the news director was standing outside of the studio afterwards.
And the FCC came?
Adam, we need to have a talk. I said, "What?" He goes, "You just said get the fuck on television. I said, I absolutely did not. I said, there was music playing. I said, get that funk out of here, like the funk music. And he was like, I don't believe you. And we had to go to the tape, and I'm sitting there, and I was so confident. And usually I'm like, oh, God, what did I say? Oh, yeah. 34s. It is so bad currently in the 34s. Are you ready?
I was going to say, right now, there is just nobody that
Listen
I can
to this
think of.
list of absolute mediocre
Shane
running backs.
Vereen.
Alex Collins, Cameron Artis-Payne, Isaiah Crowell, Zach Zenner, Tyler Irvin, Matt Jones, the missing Watt brother, Derek Watt, Malcolm Brown, Sonoris Perry, Rex Burkhead, Shane Vereen, Thomas Rawls, and your second cousin, Charles Sims.
Good old Charles.
Good old Charles.
Nobody.
You're right.
Defensive backs,
Damn.
Brian Poole, Monte Nicholson, William Parks from the Broncos,
Right.
and Andrew Sendejo. Very average.
It is.
Now all time, the really good randoms, Ruben Drones, Tim Hightower,
Right.
Derek Ward, Richard Mendenhall, and D'Angelo Williams is probably
Okay.
the best of that
Pretty good
list.
one, yeah.
The Lefkoe Loves, Kevin Jones, the running back from the Lions that was on Virginia Tech with
Right.
Vic, and he was from Philly.
Yeah,
he was
strong
great.
as hell.
Kevin Turner,
Right.
fullback from the Eagles back in the day, and Lamont Jordan, friend of the podcast,
good old
Lamont Jordan.
Lamont. Good
Best
old
34s
Lamont.
of all time, you named them. Ricky Williams, Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, Bo Jackson, the two you missed, Herschel Walker, and Thurman Thomas.
Damn.
So you think Sweetness is the best out of all of them?
Yeah.
And then who's two?
Ooh.
Earl?
Probably Earl.
Man.
Yeah.
Thurman Thomas and Emmitt Smith were two of the best of their generations, and neither of them get respect.
No, Thurman would probably be third there.
What was Thurman's style?
Man, Thurman was a little bit more. He was like the first version of a Marshall Faulk. That's
So
what
he was the receiving back.
He was. I don't want to say he had 1,000 and 1,000, but I bet you he was close a bunch.
And then I find Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson to be very similar in terms of their tenure, but also their athletic ability.
Right.
How do you rank Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker?
I
all
actually
time?
don't even think that's close. I think Bo was by far Bo Jackson. Herschel's freak, but
Yes.
Bo Jackson is an all-time freak. I mean, Bo Jackson was
I know.
maybe the best player in baseball, and then would come back and be like, "Oh, okay, it's week 6. Oh, I'm the best running back in football."
So how do we talk about him if Terrell Davis just got in the Hall of Fame? How do we measure Bo Jackson? I mean, he never had a 2,000-yard season or won a Super Bowl.
No, he never had that. He's not going to get there.
Okay.
You just got to be Bo Jackson.
NBAs of all time. Currently, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Mike Dunleavy, Devin Harris, Sean Livingston. All-timers. Corliss Williamson, Paul Pierce, Hakeem Olajuwon,
Right.
Charles Barkley,
Damn, those are
Ray
good ones.
Allen, and Charles Oakley.
That's a
Damn,
serious list.
That is serious. 34s and B-ball.
Well, this is what I'm realizing.
Yeah.
As the NBA players are getting better in the mid-30s, the NFL players are getting worse currently because we're in fullback territory.
Yeah.
Fullback and weird safety numbers.
It's funny how no tailbacks want to wear 34 right now. It's funny.
Well, just letting all the tailbacks know it's wide open to be the best 34 right now because it's
Yes.
you versus Sonoris Perry. So good luck. Constitution. Let's
Ooh,
get to it.
I love
Lido
it.
Quirke, Lido, we need to get back to you. I know you asked for some constructive criticism, but I want to go over the current Constitution. The current Constitution, number 1, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time. 2, Kyle Shanahan. 3, beans, not beef. 4, coaches must scheme for players, not rely on their talents. 5, legs and ass. 6, players first. 7, pigeon-toed. 8, Phil Simms belongs in the Hall of Fame. And 9, turf is bad for NFL players' knees. Before we go on,
Dalvin Cook, thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
going to add it. This is 2 Amendment number 9.
Right.
Turf. This
Right.
is submitted by Joshua Clark.
Right.
What do Julian Edelman, David Johnson, Julio Jones, and Dalvin Cook all have in common? They all got hurt playing the Lions on turf.
That's funny.
Think about that.
Holy cow.
Edelman, Johnson, Julio Jones, and Cook all against the Lions on
Holy-
turf.
Yeah, that's funny. Now the game was in Minnesota, but yes, still regardless
Still
that
against
Detroit
the Lions
was there, it's funny.
on turf. And then a lot of people said, how the fuck could you guys bet on the Bears and go against Amendment number 1?
Which is true. I think that's valid criticism.
It's a very
I'm telling you, when I saw Mike Glennon's photo, and they were like, "Tell the tape quarterback battles, Aaron Rodgers and Glennon looks like a mid-popped pimple. Like Glennon looks like a pimple that's in the process of being popped. I went, what the fuck did I do?
I
Stupid.
felt bad.
You felt bad about what?
I felt bad for him.
Oh, I thought you meant you felt bad for your bets.
No.
I kind of did.
You only bet $10. I bet 100.
The fact that it went into his knee and they blamed that on Glennon, I was like, that's not on Glennon.
I don't know if it was or not, actually.
All right,
I'm not
so-
sure about that. It might have been on Glennon.
It is time for our new amendments, and this is compliments of Lido Quirky. So let us get that music going. Turn that up.
Any day there, Fendrick.
No, we got
it's
it.
rolling.
Turn it
It's
up.
just
a
a
little
slow build.
Oh.
This is for Amendment 1. For every sentence started by Sims, Lefkoe shall finish it. For every thought that Sim has and wants to portray to the fans, Lefkoe shall finish it, reframe it, and at certain times use it to transition so smoothly to the next subject you won't even know that he interrupted
This
Sims.
is past already. I'm passing it.
So good news for the nerds and us all. At times, Sims may start speaking like Yoda now, so that we pick up the important stuff before Lefkoe inevitably stops
should
him
try that.
from finishing a single goddamn sentence.
Rogers is goody.
Thanks, Yoda.
Number 2. When we have a thought or idea that may serve the podcast, we solemnly swear to do our best to save it for said podcast.
Thank you.
When we drill down on a topic, we shall always attempt to do it on air, so we may share in it together. And number 3. Self-examination is no longer strictly a medical recommendation. We swear to constantly attempt to prove ourselves wrong in an effort to scout just as harshly than those we speak of in order to reach the highest of standards. We will always be open to sensible opinions. This shall be referred to as self-scouting. If you simply think we are stupid after we have heard your arguments and responded with research and a conclusion that is different from yours, you have the permission to pull your head out of your ass.
Hear, 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 hear.
And thus, the 3 new amendments that are in the Constitution, submitted by Thomas McCulligan, Adam shall always finish Sims' sentences. Anthony Hamp, when life gives you lemons, save it for the podcast. And Mark Bagent, we shall always self-scout and shall never be closed off to other opinions unless the opinion violates Article 1. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback.
Don't you fuck
in the
with that
history
opinion,
of the
okay?
NFL. And
Hear,
those
hear.
are
That was pretty good.
your 3 new amendments that have been ratified.
I like that.
Congratulations.
Way to go.
All right.
We get a lot of submissions this week for
we
new
have
amendments.
a few. We have a few, and I have to find them.
Jeez.
But I honestly want to give credit to Lito Quirky, and I'm so happy that he does this for us.
It's amazing. He's a good writer.
You're enjoying it.
I am.
I think he needed to hear that.
No, I'm enjoying it. I was wondering if it would get stale. I'm not going to lie, Lito. I was like, and it's not on Lito. It's really on you, Lefkoe. This is your
Why?
idea. This is your idea. I mean, but it's been actually very funny to this point. I mean, not as funny as Lefkoe, man.
Are you enjoying that?
I am, especially with your look right now, too. The
I'm going hooded up. I'm going hooded up.
Hoodie
All
Lefkoe.
right, first submission. I_Showtime. Blake Bortles is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
Okay, well, obviously we need to pull up the teams here.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't think I really need to pull them up, actually.
What is your ruling, Sims?
Gosh. I'm going to say nay.
And what's your reasoning?
My reasoning is because I just don't want to make him a part of our amendments in general.
Ooh, I'm going to say nay because it's going to change and we're going to have this podcast for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. That's another good point.
I think we could do
Right.
something on Blake Bortles. Maybe like Blake Bortles is the proof
Or-
that GMs like care more about their jobs.
If you throw like Blake Bortles, then you shouldn't be starting at the quarterback position.
Those are
Something
all fair.
along those
so,
lines.
So
Take
that's a
another shot.
nay. We'll take
Right.
another shot. Diego Mendez. This is very nondescript. Something needs to be put into the Constitution about white boy supremes. It is a trademark of the show.
I agree.
We need to know what that something is, though.
We do. Rephrase it for us. Make it cute.
So my question is, do we submit this to Lito to write up, or do we wait for someone to write something about white? Oh, you know what? Excuse me. TJ Huago submitted one. His submission is white boy supreme rule. We don't compare white skill players with other white skill players. I don't believe that's the white boy supreme rule.
Right.
Because eventually we're going to have to compare a white guy to a white guy. It's going to happen.
Right.
We're not that good.
Right.
But I do think someone needs to submit something for white boy supreme. I do not think we just
to be
give
a
this
white,
to Lito.
white boy supreme, you have to separate yourselves from the other white boys of the NFL.
So I'm going to toss this one back out to Twitter.
Okay.
Hit us with a refined white boy supreme before we submit it to Lito Quirky.
Right.
And that means we only have one more submission left. I did not do a re-ask.
Right.
TJ Huago again. Just like with all Americans, why the players protest is more important than how they do it. What do you think, Sims?
That's an interesting one.
It is an interesting one.
Why they protest more important than how they do it.
I guess I want to say nay only because are we gonna be talking about this a year from now or a year and a half from now? I hope not.
I think we will be.
You think we need to keep this in?
Well, no, I'm not saying we need to keep it in, but I do think we're going to be talking about this.
Yes, I still don't think it's a staple of our podcast, even though we're always going to stick up for the players, and we are going to address social issues.
Yes. So I do agree with that statement incredibly.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because I don't know. You're right. I don't know if the protest will continue for the life of us.
Right.
Okay. But I love it.
I'm just really glad. I'm glad that everybody in the NFL didn't stand on Sunday. I really am, because then we would have had a certain president who talks about respect. He would have taken all the credit from his Saturday tweet. So I'm just glad he didn't.
All right, so that means that we have no new submissions.
And that's okay.
We have no new amendments, and that is totally okay.
These are the currents of legislation.
But I want to say, TJ Huago, you're right on, dude, and we appreciate it. And also shout out to iShowtime and Diago Mendez. And again, congratulations to McCulligan, Hamp, and Bajent for their new admissions. Going back to...
Hey, just real quick. I mean, what time should I tell my dad we're going to call exactly around?
I would say in about
4:10ish.
You want to call him in like 15? Let's call him in 10 minutes.
I'll just give him a 4:10.
Okay, great.
I'm just sending that text.
All right, so our second amendment, of course, was Kyle Shanahan, and of course, we have to have Kyle Shanahan in this podcast every time. Here's a quote from Kyle. So you try to look at each game as it is, and I know we're 0-4 right now, but when you lose a total of 3 games by 8 points, we could easily be 3-1, and you don't want to make drastic changes for one reason. It's never just one guy talking about Brian Hoyer, and I try to put a lot of thought into that. What do you think, saying that they could be 3-1 right now?
Well, I mean...
And not going to C.J. Beathard.
They can. They could be. They've been very competitive. I mean, you look at the Seahawks game, 12-9 loss, 41-39
Panthers
Rams.
game was super close.
Right. I mean,
and
but these
obviously
last
the Cardinals game was very close.
So, yes, they can be. The thing I would say to that is the reason they're not there, though, is because their quarterback, for the most part,
You're going to put it on him.
I mean, he's the biggest part in my eyes. And this is... Again, I haven't really talked to Kyle a whole lot. It's the West Coast thing kills us. You know what I mean?
Just the time difference.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my phone, and sometimes he calls me. It's midnight here, and he's calling on the way home at 9:30, and I'm already checked out. The phone's on silent.
For the podcast, I'm going to need you to stay up a little bit later.
Okay, yeah, thanks. But to me, that is the biggest glaring mistake. They are playing hard. They're a good football team.
Their defense is really good.
Their defense is really good. They're well coached, and even though they don't have great pass rushers, they have good defensive front. Like they're big. They're not going to be bullied. But I do look at Hoyer as the guy and the reason, especially. I mean, did you see what are their fourth quarter stats? Did you see their fourth quarter stats?
No.
I mean, they had like -6 yards in the fourth quarter. And I was watching the game. You know I was at home, and it's Kyle, so I'm watching. He missed some slam dunk freaking throws where I was just like, man, you can't miss that this point of the game.
You think this is killing him, or was he prepared for this?
I don't think he was quite prepared for this. I think Kyle has such great confidence in his offense, which he should. I think he's always looked at it like, I'll get the quarterback over the hump.
Right.
And I just don't know if the team is quite talented enough, along with his scheme, to quite get a Hoyer over the hump. You know what I mean?
I think it's time that we finally finalize the nickname for Tarik Cohen and Jordan Howard, the backfield of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
We came in and we put it out there. What do you like? The deli, mention the bench, the menchman and the henchman. Some other ones here. Alex Wilcox. If Kyle Long does indeed call Jordan Howard Juice, they could be called Mensch and the Quench. Jake Baker says we call them duh backs.
It's not bad, actually.
Duh backs. CP Sweeney says the Bruiser and the Cruiser.
Oh, I kind of like that one.
Andrew Ringle says the Mensch and the Trench. And then Sean Ostrowski calls them the Hebrew and the Hammer.
That would be my pick. The Hebrew and the Hammer.
That would be too. Before that, it would have been the other one. What was it?
Duh
No,
backs.
what was it? 2 after that?
Mention the Quench.
No, next one. Keep going.
Mention the Bench.
Nope.
Menchman and the Henchman.
Nope.
Bruiser and the Cruiser.
Yes, that one. Yes. That one or the last one, but I think the last one wins out.
I think we're going to go with the Hebrew and the Hammer.
Yeah, the Hebrew and the Hammer.
Hebrew and the Hammer?
Yes.
I think it's perfect.
I think it is.
What sounds better, Hebrew and the Hammer or the Hammer and the Hebrew? Hebrew and the Hammer.
It's got to be the Hebrew.
I
and
think the
Hammer,
Hebrew
yeah.
first is better too.
All right, so Sean Ostrowski, congratulations. We are officially going with the Hebrew and the Hammer.
Man, yep. Bruiser and Cruiser is pretty good too, though.
Yeah, but I think Hebrew and the Hammer, to keep alive the mensch.
Right.
Hebrew and the Hammer is officially the name of the Bears
Do you think he
backfield.
even realizes his last name is a Jewish last name?
No,
That's what I want to
I'm
ask
sure.
her.
I hope so. I hope he looks around the phone book and he goes, Ira. Like, there's none of them are Tarik. By the way, shout out to Jordan Howard being a fucking badass and constantly playing with his arm in a
Seriously.
sling. Like, it's incredible to
Yeah,
watch.
It is. I can't even imagine the running back position in general, but he's young and he's dumb and he's full of strength.
Yes.
He
Thank
is.
you. That
and
was unnecessary.
testerone.
All right, so
He didn't even see. He doesn't
No,
even
he
realize
doesn't.
it. He was like
I'm not-
thinking about a spreadsheet.
I'm not even going to participate.
So one thing that I told you that I was going to do is I wanted to look back at all of the teams that started off well. Who did they actually play?
Yeah, that's
and then
good.
look at the teams that were bad and who did they actually play?
I like that.
And we actually had an iTunes comment from Three Eagles fan. Where is the love for the Eagles? They've played 4 really tough teams, 3 on the road. I think it's time to take them seriously.
I've been taking him seriously. It's Lefkoe who has it.
All right, so the Eagles, they're 3-1, and they're the combined record of the teams they've played is 6-10.
Yeah.
They've played Washington on the road, the Chiefs on the road, it was a loss, and the Chargers on the road. But it's 6-10 because the Giants and the Chargers are both 0-4.
Right.
And the teams that they played on the road, the 2 other teams were a combined 7-1.
Right.
So I think that's a very respectable 3-1. The team that came away the most impressive to me at 3-1, the number 1 record was the Bills.
Yeah.
They're 3-1, and the record of the teams they've played are 11-5. Panthers, Broncos, and Falcons all 3-1.
Yeah.
Jets 2-2.
Right.
So I look at the Bills, I go, wow. And you do a deeper dive on the Bills. The only game in which the Jets have scored less than 20, the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
The only game in which the Falcons have scored less than 20, the Bills.
Right.
The only game in which the Panthers have scored less than 10, Carolina, and the Broncos
Bills.
scored the least amount. The Bills, yeah. And the Broncos scored their least amount against the Bills as well.
Right.
So the Bills are for real.
The Bills are good. Yes, they are. Now, they've been. I think all those teams too. Again, it's a game of matchups. Just to add my 2 cents into it.
Of course.
Okay. And they match up well with those teams. Of course, Carolina they match up well with. That's. I mean,
Atlanta was surprising, but the wide receiver injuries played
it was
into that.
definitely it's surprising. The film was surprising. I mean, if we go into that game, because I think you looked at my notes, but regardless, that game, I think, of course, the receivers. I'm very interested to see where it goes because I just think I didn't see a ton from the Sarkisian offense, and I wonder if it's going to go that way.
Gotcha.
Yes.
The 3-1 team with the worst combined opponent record,
Right.
the Rams,
Right.
5-11, tied with Pittsburgh, 5-11. So the Rams have beaten the Colts. They lost to Washington, the 49ers, and the Cowboys.
Right.
So they're 5-11. The Steelers have beaten the Browns,
Yep.
the Bears, and the Ravens.
Right.
Excuse me.
They
The
lost to the
Browns, the
Bears.
Vikings, the Ravens lost to the Bears.
Right.
Steelers have played Deshaun Kaiser,
Yeah.
Case Keenum,
Right.
Mike Glennon, and Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
So the Steelers truly are a team right now that I am going to wait on.
Yep.
Everyone's crowning them the Kings of the North. We need to wait. The other,
I think you can crown the Kings of the North.
just because the North stinks.
North's not that
The
good,
only thing I'm
but-
going to say is
yeah.
I want to wait and see the Bengals.
Yeah.
They're not that far out right now,
No,
and
they're
they're
not.
very talented. And now that Vontez Perfect is back, I want to see.
Yeah, let's see it.
The other record of the teams that are 3-1, the Lions 7-9, and the Carolina Panthers 7-9. Carolina has beaten the 49ers, the Bills, and the Patriots,
Right.
and lost to the Saints. Detroit has beaten the Cardinals, the Giants, the Vikings, and lost to the Falcons.
Yes.
So just something interesting
Yeah,
to see.
it
But
is interesting.
Buffalo's been great. Now the teams that have sucked, the teams they've played.
Right.
The Chargers, they've played teams with a combined record of 11-4.
Damn.
Broncos,
Right.
Chiefs, Eagles, Dolphins.
Right.
Interesting.
It is.
Bears are 1-3. They have also played a combined 11-4. They have lost to the Falcons, Bucks, Packers, and they beat the Steelers. So I think the Bears are a lot better than the record indicates as well.
Yes.
The Giants are after that at 10-5. They have lost to the Cowboys, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Bucks.
Right.
Again, I would say that's a really
Pretty
good
strong
roster.
Yep.
After that is the Niners, 10-6. Panthers, Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals. Not as great.
Yeah.
And then the one that comes in with the worst record is the Bengals at 7-9. They're 1-3. The Ravens, Texans, and Packers they lost to, and they beat the Browns.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't be too excited about the Bengals.
Yeah, well, and they were a mess at the start of the year. I don't think it mattered who the hell they played. They were going to screw it up.
So what this taught me was the Chargers and Bears are probably a little bit better than we're saying they are, and the Rams and Steelers are probably a little bit worse than we're talking about right now.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Who are the ones that you said are a little worse?
The Rams and Steelers.
I would agree. I don't know if I. Okay, the Steelers are a tough one. The Rams, I
Because their
totally
defense
agree.
is fantastic.
Man, it's fantastic. Now, the good thing that like we've talked about, they haven't had to play like a high-octane pass offense
The
yet.
Steelers?
No. And I think that's where I do look at it. Like, if you look at my
And they're
notes,
not getting it this week with Bortles.
No, and then the thing I've looked at is really, again, their defense is amazing. Their front seven is arguably the best in the game.
Yeah.
I think it might be the best.
They've played a lot of teams that want to stay in the box.
But yes, exactly right.
Like
and
the
they're still not
Vikings
playing
really
a ton of
weren't-
man-to-man.
It was Case Keenum's first game. The
Right.
Bears want to pound you.
Right.
The Ravens really have no offense. And
No.
Deshaun Kaiser is the worst
That's
quarterback
right.
in the
I want
NFL
to see
right
the
now.
secondary tested for sure.
Before your dad comes on, let's
Yeah.
play a little game called Stat Game.
Woo!
All right, this one's for both of you. Who currently has the best quarterback QBR in the NFL? Boom, boom,
Ooh,
boom.
the best
boom.
QBR.
So it's not
Boom,
Joe
boom,
Flacco.
Damn. I really should know this.
Let's
I don't
go
look
rapid
at it. Hold
fire.
on, I know.
Go.
Gosh. Tom Brady.
Matt Ryan.
Deshaun Watson.
Man, that was so
Absolutely,
easy.
yep.
Who has the worst QBR in the NFL?
Joe Flacco.
Boom, boom.
Deshaun
boom.
Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser. Ding, 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 ding.
Thought that .5 got me.
Who is leading rookies in receiving yards this year? Boom, 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 boom,
Kareem Hunt.
Boom, boom, boom,
Tarik Cohen.
Christian McCaffrey, 206.
Damn.
Who is leading rookies in interceptions? Boom, boom, boom.
Gareon.
Hold on. I can't even think of people, rookies that are interceptions. Malik Hooker.
Bang, 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 bang. Malik Hooker.
What you got to say about that?
I got nothing to say. I don't watch football.
Which
Go back in your
quarterback has
spreadsheet.
been sacked the most in the NFL this season?
Ooh, sacked the
Boom,
most.
Andy Dalton.
boom, boom, boom,
No.
boom,
Wait,
boom,
hold on. Sacked
boom,
the
boom,
most. Who
boom,
is it
boom,
been?
boom,
Is it? It's
boom,
not
boom,
Brady.
boom, boom. Carson Palmer, 17
that was
times.
so easy.
Because their
That's
offensive line
stupid.
has no ass and
Sucks.
legs.
Right.
Which team has the least amount of sacks? Which team has sacked the other quarterback the least? With one. Boom, boom.
One
Sims's
sack?
eyes just pulled. There's one team in the NFL that has sacked the other quarterback one
The
time.
Chargers.
Boom,
No.
boom. No, I mean,
No, I mean,
I'm just picking random teams every time.
Melvin
They've
Ingram has
only
like 5.
sacked the quarterback one time.
Hurry up, 3.
New York Jets.
The answer is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, that's another easy one. I just was talking
They're
about
all
them.
easy, huh?
Yeah.
And they're playing Tom Brady.
Gosh.
Who is the NFL sack leader right now with 7.5
I
sacks
have
through
no
4
idea.
games?
Couldn't even tell you.
Boom, boom, boom.
I know
boom,
this one
boom.
too, and it's
boom,
totally
boom.
killing me here.
He had a big performance against the team that allowed the most sacks on Monday Night Football in Arizona.
Oh, didn't someone have someone had like 4 sacks in that game?
No.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Damn, that's right.
And which rookie is
Man.
currently
Yeah, I would
leading
never
the
pulled it, though.
Which rookie is currently leading the NFL in sacks?
Rookie Carl Lawson.
Yes, he is. 2.5. Little quote about Carl Lawson.
Yep.
As he was going to sack Deshaun Kaiser, the quote is, "When I'm bringing him down, I see my teeth up in the air and I think, oh crap." Lawson wasn't wearing a mouthpiece at the time. Linebacker Kevin Minter scolded him. "You're going to listen to me now, huh? I've been telling him since training camp." This is what his quote was, though. If I had gotten knocked out any other play, I probably would have been a little bit more upset. But it was a good pass rush, so I sacrificed my teeth for it.
I love it.
Makes
My
me
kinda
love
guy.
Carl Lawson
Yes.
even more.
I mean, I saw the picture too. You don't had him chipped. He didn't have him like lost.
no big
teeth.
deal.
Not like me, like where I've lost 4 freaking teeth.
Yeah, well, you got hit by a car, so
Yes,
those things are
I
going to
did.
happen. We are going to do Lefkoe rookie inventory in a second, where I'm going to pick your brain about rookies. But in the meantime, it's everyone's favorite segment, Fill in Time with Big Phil Sims.
You know what
Big
you're gonna
Bill.
do when he picks up?
Oh.
What should I do?
Well, I don't know. But last week, he's funny because he's always like, I don't know. I'm like, it's live. As soon as you enter the phone,
All right, so
it's
he's going to be
live.
ready this time.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see.
All right, so this time I'm just going to give him silence.
I'll step him up. I'll set
You're
him
gonna
up.
step him up?
Step him
Cool.
up too.
All right, here we go.
You took your hoodie off,
Yeah, I'm getting hot.
Johnny Cool Nuts over there.
Cool nuts.
Johnny Cool Nuts. Oh, look, he's gonna write it down. He said Johnny Cool Nuts at 4:09.
It's fine. I got no issue there.
I'm going to go Spanish.
Oh. You're not going to get him. He's the king of when he calls.
Well, he better pick up.
When he answers, he goes, Joe Bar and Grill.
Are we going to get voicemail?
It's 4:09, so you might have called him a little early.
What?
He's on Bill Parcells' time.
Welcome to Verizon.
All right, give it
I'm
a
gonna
You know
leave
what
a
he's
voicemail.
doing? I'm just to tell you what he's doing. He's walking from the kitchen out to his office
Are we
right
leaving
now.
him a voicemail?
Yeah.
I don't think they have a real voicemail. I don't even know that.
Press star. Otherwise,
Call
please
back.
dial the number you are calling.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
Phil.
Try again. Should I call again?
Yeah, call again. Oh, yeah, he's ready. I mean,
While we call,
I'm telling you, he's walking from the kitchen to. That's all his life is: kitchen to office, office to kitchen, kitchen to.
oh, this is his office. So he doesn't. Does he have a cell phone?
This is his house phone. Yeah, he has a cell phone. This is
Okay.
the house phone though. Oh, well, this is great though. We'll really be able to bust on him for not answering at 4:10.
Good. While we wait, the NFL currently is on the verge of changing that May 16 rule for Pac-12 players.
Oh, I saw that.
How great is that?
I mean, yeah, great.
it's about fucking time.
I mean, are you kidding me
for
with
people
that
that don't
rule?
realize, it's like the Pac-12 players couldn't even go to training camp because they weren't allowed to until they finished their finals. Oh, Sims.
I mean, he literally texted me saying yes. All right, here we go. Hold on.
All right, here we go.
All right,
All right, here we go.
We can make some edits here.
I don't know. Kind of like it.
I do like it too. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to call him again.
Well, we're gonna, but I'm texting him. I'm texting him right now. I don't know what the heck he's doing.
God damn it,
I
Phil.
mean,
Don't go changing.
I am secretly hoping he's taking a shit.
Oh, now he answered his text right now. Call it again.
All right, here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
All right. All right, Phil. Chris, you just hit him right off the bat.
Yeah. I will. Gonna ruin him.
Is he not going to pick up again?
I don't know, because he's probably realized, oh shit, it's 4:10. I gotta walk out to the office real quick. Hold on.
What do you think his 40 is at this time of his life?
It's not good. The last time he was doing some running workouts,
Yeah.
he did some running workouts and hurt his back. And I was like, what are you doing? Like,
Welcome to Verizon.
Unreal.
all right, it's okay. He's going.
I'm calling the same number as last week.
Oh yeah, that's the right one.
Okay,
All right,
cool.
get
I
it
wanna
again.
know-
Give it again. Give it again.
How many fumbles did he have in his career? Because this is a dropped
Oh,
opportunity.
when he left the NFL, he was sacked the most in the history of the NFL. He was, and I think Elway passed him up once Elway retired.
Sims here.
Hey, what the fuck? We said we were gonna call you at 4:10. I mean, what the fuck? We've called 4 times.
Hey, wow. You know, I raised you better than this. I
You-
really did.
I don't
know,
think you
so-
did.
Were
yes,
you?
I did.
Were
Well, I
you
did.
walking?
You just don't listen because you know it all, right? Am I right or wrong, Adam?
He does know a lot, and he thinks he knows
Yes.
even more. Big Phil, were you walking
you.
from the kitchen to the office? Is that what was happening?
No, I had my phone unhooked because I like to keep it from ringing when I'm working. I realized I thought you
What?
were calling my cell, so I plugged it in.
Oh,
Wait a second.
my
Hold on.
gosh.
Time out. So you unplug your phone so that nobody bothers you? Then what's the point of having the phone? What if it's an emergency?
Because I have this other thing that's called where I can go into studios and dial in and all that. So when I'm on it, I don't want my phone to ring. So,
Gotcha.
hey, enough about the phone, you two.
Is it a rotary phone? Do you have to like swirl the numbers?
Dad goes through.
You know what? If you were, well, never mind. Go ahead. What, Christopher?
I was just gonna say, Dad doesn't I cuss, and he sometimes tells me to watch my mouth and blah blah blah. He taught me how to cuss, okay? Because when I was little growing up, Phil cussed, okay?
Well, yeah, I mean, and you're passing it along to Philip. Oh, yeah, someone wanted me to ask Big Phil. Big Phil, what do you think about your grandson cursing on the podcast?
I was not happy, and I don't know what to say. Now, if I curse when I'm in public, whenever I'm doing a show, I put $50 in a glass.
Oh, do you?
What?
Yes, I do.
What?
So at the end of the year, I said I'll just keep stashing $50 in there every time I say a curse word, and when the year's over, we'll draw for it and see who wins.
Oh, well, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna be putting a lot of $50. He says don't curse, and then when he comes over to the house, my little boy catches him cursing, and goes, "Hey, Papa, you just cursed."
Well, because it's probably something you did to upset me, but so far, after how many weeks is this now?
4.
We're in week 5.
Yeah.
This is
So
week 4,
far,
yeah.
I've only given up $50. So there
nice.
you go.
Okay.
All right, so Big
All right.
Phil, speaking of the youth and Philip, I hear you have something to talk about with some young quarterbacks. What's on your mind?
Well,
Well, I think
yeah. Go ahead.
what's on my mind, I don't even know if I can explain it. Just it's easy. Hindsight's great. Now, Mitchell. They want, I don't want Mrs. Trubisky to come and get after me too. But we know he's going to play, And why did it take so long for him to play? Well, look, they paid Mike Glennon during the offseason. We know all that. They're going to start him at the start of the year because if they didn't, it makes them look bad. And, of course, they didn't really know. They were looking for a one-year starter, but you can never be sure you're going to get the quarterback you want in the draft. So they protected themselves by going out and getting Mike Glennon. And, you know, you look at the other quarterbacks, you look at Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, these guys are ready to play when they step into the pros. And if you worked with them and decide you were going to go with them as your quarterback, you would have been fine. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, he's not going to get that chance because Alex Smith, it's a good team.
Yep.
He's playing well. But when the time comes, I have no doubt physically he'll be ready to go. So if you're one of those teams, what was Deshaun Watson? Where was he picked? What number?
A 10? 11?
Well, no,
And
I think
so,
Mahomes
some
went
of those
10.
Mahomes
teams
was
that
10,
passed
he
on
went
a
11, I think,
quarterback
or 12.
have got to sit back and go, man, we made a mistake. And yes, you did.
Right.
You know, you don't wait for the next year because who knows what's going to be there next year.
Yes.
And you can do without, there's a really solid, our board has them ranked this way. Well, the board, that's like the 2-point sheet. Mike Tomlin should blow his up. Everybody should because it doesn't work. And the board doesn't ever tell you the value of the quarterback.
Right.
So,
Watson
you know,
went 12.
you got to do that. And here's my other beef. Backup quarterbacks. Listen, a lot of good ones in the NFL, but there's a lot of other ones, you know, and go, man, how is he still in the league? And why is he in the league?
Yeah, this is really the point, Dad. Why are the backup quarterbacks in the league? Because this is something that we hear from coaches, Dad and I,
Oh, my gosh.
and people around the NFL all the time. So tell people what they always say with the backup quarterback.
Well, you know, he knows how to get us in and out of the huddle. Oh, my God, that's such a – you know, it's going to take me 5 years to learn that, Coach. We got to get him ready to do that. He gets us in and out of the huddle and can communicate the play.
Or
what do you think these college quarterbacks who have talent have been doing?
Right.
And then, you know, our quarterback room, we really like our quarterback room. Now, what does that mean? I hear that so much from these cliche-ridden coaches. I just walk away.
He's
you
good
know,
in the
of course,
meeting
I don't say it
room.
to the face. But I say it to everybody I'm with, I said, man, if I hear that it's good, it's a good quarterback room, I think I'm going to throw up. And all quarterbacks are in that room. Yeah, you get along, but they all have one thing in common. They all want to play.
Right.
And, hey, they'll help the guy that's playing, but, man, they want to be out there and play. And if they don't want to be out there, then, well, we know you got a guy that shouldn't be there to begin with. And it irritates me. And it's the politics. Well, let's don't get anybody in here that could look better on the practice field than our starter. That a lot of times that's the case too.
Yes.
Phil,
And
have you ever
it'll
sat
be
there?
interesting. Last thing, it'll be interesting. Matt Castle, love Matt Castle, known him since his days in New England.
Yeah.
Can he carry the load for the
No.
Tennessee Titans, which is a pretty good football team? Can he duplicate what Marcus Mariota does? No, he cannot.
No.
So they'll have to find different ways to win.
Yeah.
Phil, have you ever sat there in a meeting and like, I know that you're very respectful and you're not going to say anything back, but have you ever looked at the coach and been like, are you kidding? Like, that's like, you know, that's ridiculous. Like, I doubt you have, but have you ever been so compelled that you wanted to?
No. No. You know, listen, when you're in these coaches' office and they're doing what they do for us, when I used to do games, I'm always respectful. I realize the job and there's more to it sometimes than we all make it up to be. I respect that. It's a brutally tough job, and every head coach says the same thing. Hey, I came in this morning at 5 o'clock, couldn't wait to get involved in football. I got this on the desk. Oh, so-and-so got in trouble last night. Oh, this guy did this. Oh, my gosh, what? Oh, you need a lunch menu, and the next thing you know, it's time to go to practice, and they haven't done anything for football. So it's a brutal job, but it pays well.
I want to go back to the young QBs thing too, because I think that is like an interesting topic. Because again, it's the old mode of the NFL. It even goes into the running backs thing, where sometimes it's we're going to play the veteran because he knows what to do on third down and pass protect. I mean, remember like the Cardinals started Chris Johnson last year over David Johnson just because of that. And but the thing too with the quarterbacks, I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot. It's not 1979 anymore. Like, you're not. This is not the era of like when you played high school football and I played high school football, where holy shit, I threw it 15 times.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
The wing tee.
And then you went to college and you're like, damn, I threw it 21 times. Now, I mean, 8th graders are throwing it 20 times. You
All
get
they
to
do
high
is
school,
7-on-7.
right? 7-on-7, the camps, all that stuff, flag football, whatever it may be. I mean, that's where I just think they're missing the ball. The quarterbacks are farther along in the drop back pass game than ever before. And
well, they're further along. They know how to be quarterbacks more than ever before, and we're going to see a bunch of them come out this year. I don't know. My first thought is it won't be as good as the group that we just talked about, the 3 guys, but that's another story. But, yes, I was over here by my house throwing last week, and the kid that's a 7th grader playing on the local town football team, I said, hey, Ben, how you doing? Hey, y'all win. Yes, we won, Mr. Sims. I said, well, how many did you throw today? Well, I think we threw around 15 times. I went,
man,
what?
I know.
15 times in a little rec football game. And, of course, the kid can really throw and all that. But that's amazing. So these guys are ready to play more. And it comes to this. Now, we've already talked about Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
2 things. Does he look like he's a little nervous or out of place on the NFL field? No, to me, I feel he's more comfortable on the NFL field than he did in college because there's more knowledge. They got more answers for him,
right?
And he knows those answers now. And I'll say this, and with all honesty, I'm shocked with Bill O'Brien. I watched that game against the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans' pass defense is horrendous, or it's not very good. That's the word for it. But when I watched the offense, I was like, look at this. The formations, they moved it. Of course, he did a little zone read. He did an option. He did a quarterback draw. But he didn't take punishment in any of those things, which is what you can do nowadays with a quarterback that can move. And what they did, I just got to tell you, I can't believe this. I mean, it didn't even look like the Houston Texans.
No.
It looked like a whole other team.
The movement of quarterbacks. Because I talk about it constantly.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a great athlete. I just got done watching Tom Brady against the Carolina Panthers, and, you thought that was Deshaun Watson back there running around. He's bopping up in the pocket. He's way outside of the right. He runs to the left. He's throwing the ball down the field. And so you don't have to be anything special to have movement. You just got to teach yourself. You got to do it in practice, then you do it in games.
Yes.
The Bills.
And 2 people come to my mind. Boy, I'm on some rant.
Go.
2 people that come to my mind that got to move.
Yeah.
And one was Mike Glennon.
Right.
He was his own worst enemy. He stood there and just couldn't. Hey, if it doesn't happen for you in the NFL right now, then start moving.
Right.
And the other one, of course, he's older, Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Just not enough movement, taking way too much punishment for a guy his age, and with a team that has all those veterans. I mean, getting hit just square in the back, getting smashed in the face. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Now,
hey, Eli's finally
side,
started moving.
Okay,
a little bit. But
the other side, Eli Manning.
There it is.
Last week, he moved, let's say, 3-4 times. I'm not sure. But you know what? It was a difference in the game.
It
It helped him.
Yeah.
And, so, hey, doesn't take a rocket science to do this thing. But this I think we're going to see a change in the NFL where young players across the board at every position. Look what happened in Buffalo. Oh, we got Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods at wide receiver. Out. Get them out.
Right.
Now they got 2 young guys. They got Matthews and Zay Jones they drafted. They're doing fine.
Right.
They get rid of 2
Ronald Darby, Stephon Gilmore.
Premier corners.
Right.
And, when you watch them, you go, there's no way the 2 they let go are better than these 2 that I'm watching here right now because they are playing awesome. So my point being, just like Jared Goff, all of it together. He didn't Jared Goff has now shown us what he really is. No, he's not. He's being coached.
Right.
He's in a different environment. The coach is helping him show his talent, which he didn't have even a chance to do last year. And the same can be said about a lot of positions in the NFL.
All right. Hey, that was awesome. Good shit, big
Fucking
guy.
killed
Way to
it.
go. Come in and take over.
So far now, that's about $250 you owe me.
Put it on my tab, Big Phil. Put it on my
tab.
tab.
Is big. I know that.
All right.
Hey, tell your boy, Adam, do you know how to play backgammon?
I can learn to kick your ass. Oh, that was
no,
too
you
strong.
can't learn.
That was
Come
too
on,
strong.
Listen, I'm a mathematician. It's the only great quality I have in life. I got it. It's about numbers. Talk to that guy sitting next to you.
Really?
Tell him about the next 4 months he's working for free because that's what he owes me from back then.
It is
All
true.
right. Hey,
All right.
You guys have a good day.
All right,
You
Dad.
too,
See
big
ya.
fella.
I owe Dad, I think somewhere at $18,000 in backgammon bets.
What?
I mean, the
He's that
first
good,
game
huh?
the first game he bought me a board for Christmas in 2008 or 9, like
Yeah.
a really nice board, like a huge briefcase. You open it up,
Yeah.
it's leather.
He's
I
a
used
little
to,
competitive.
Oh,
huh?
like this. I used to play this with like Brandon Stokely in Denver. We'd sit there and gamble all night long. He'd drink beers, and I'd do what I do.
Drink tequila.
Drink tequila. Tequila, and we would bet. But backgammon is a great game. But the first game I ever played with my dad, he taught me how to play.
And then he said,
the
"Let's
next
gamble."
game he goes, "All right, we'll play for 100 in this game." And I was like, "Sure." And it just started. I was down like $10,000 like the first month I owned the thing. So it's like put it on our tab, and he writes it down, and we got it on there.
Oh,
I really
that's
want to play your
fantastic.
dad in ping pong.
Wait, 2 quick things about what he said, real quick.
Yes.
The corner thing with Buffalo. What they did too is they realized we don't need to pay these corners this because it's not the important cog of our team. We play zone. We don't need the man-to-man corners. So it was great going.
The same reason the Panthers got rid of their big money guys
Right.
because they could afford it with that
They
defensive
go,
scheme.
right, we're going to put it somewhere else. We might have to pay a D tackle or another pass rusher, whatever it may be, just to say that. And the other thing is, like, he's totally, I never thought about this or what he said, but the Deshaun Watson being, like, more uncomfortable in college. I wrote down as he was saying that, I was more nervous in college than the NFL.
Really?
Yes, because in college I felt like, man, what am I supposed to do when they play this blitz or do this? Like, it's just on me to fucking make it happen?
Coaching, is that what the difference is?
Right. And in the NFL, when you have a good coach who's sound, and that doesn't always have to be creative, he just goes, hey, when you get this blitz, we're going to check the blah, blah, blah. Or, I've taught the left tackle when he sees this guy go in to pop out, and so you feel at ease. You go, okay, I have the answers to this. This is nothing new. Where in college at times I'd be like, man, we haven't picked up this blitz all game, and it's the fourth quarter, and oh, fuck, here it comes again. Blue 85, blue 85. Hey, Roy Williams already said hot.
Yeah.
True, and I would
Well,
throw it
the
up.
3 names I would say would be Sean McDermott, Bill O'Brien, and Sean McVay.
Yeah.
And what are those guys?
Yes.
Good coaches.
No doubt.
Man.
I know. So that's just...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never think about the level of coaching and how that impacts a player.
It does. And if a player is able to
And maybe-
retain it and
well,
do all that,
and that's why I would think
they go to the next level and they're even better.
A Saban Meyer kid
Right.
has a lot of that thing figured out for him.
Yes.
Where maybe a Clemson kid has to kind of do it
He do it
himself
his
a little
own.
bit.
Exactly right.
Dabo's a hell of a recruiter. I
Right.
think he's a good coach.
But that's where
it's-
you grade on potential. Exactly right. You're saying that, right. Those coaches have taught them. It's like we've talked about with Alabama players. Sometimes they're peaked out already because they've been...
Because they know exactly what to do.
Exactly, right. And they've been made look good because they're always in a good position by their coaching.
Right.
Where other teams are just like, hey, you guys are awesome. Just go make it happen
Yeah,
for us.
then you watch an Ed Orgeron LSU kid and go, man, Jamal Adams is fucking incredible.
Right.
Speaking of Jamal Adams, before we get to the Lefkoe rookie inventory, Morris Claiborne had a quote about Jamal Adams and Marcus Maye, the 2 young safeties for the Jets who are fucking incredible.
Amazing, right.
Quote is, I believe that those 2 guys can have the type of impact that Dak Prescott and Zeke had on the offensive side of the ball. Remember, Claiborne played for the Cowboys last year. Right. The energy they bring when they hit the field every week is unbelievable. They bring it during practice. We feed off of it.
Yeah.
Think
You
about
can see
that.
it.
The impact of those rookies, the same as Dak and Zeke. It's really cool.
It is cool. You don't think about the defensive side of the ball. My first thing, like I knew Jamal Adams was going to start, right? And I was just like, okay, Jamal Adams is going to start. He was, the 6th pick of the draft.
Yes.
But when they said Marcus Maye was starting.
And then they cut Calvin Pryor.
I was like, ooh, okay. Because that says something to me just from the standpoint, Bowles' defense, it does some different stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's what he did in Arizona.
He has to be able to trust that position especially to make checks and be in the right spot. And their energy is, you could see it
when
on the
I
field.
watched Jamal Adams during the game on Sunday, and he's
Right.
on the sideline, he's yelling at people. You know what I looked at? I looked at the eyes of his teammates.
Yeah.
And they were like locked in
Yeah,
and
they
like
were
nodding
listening.
their head.
Right.
And I was like, he's leading.
Yeah.
And when does a rookie in his 3rd game ever lead like
when
that?
he's really fucking
When
awesome.
he's really fucking awesome.
Right.
All right, so Lefkoe inventory. Fendrick literally made fun of me for this yesterday.
Does it all the time at the office.
I walk around the office and I go, hey,
Hey,
Josh,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Hey, you do anything here? You earning your paycheck?
Because what I do is I like to know what people are doing.
All right.
First one,
he goes
He's
into
such a
random people.
nudge.
Yeah.
Marshon Lattimore, Saints, 11th pick in the draft.
Right.
What's he doing?
Yeah, what's he doing? Is he earning
What's he
his
doing?
paycheck?
Is he earning his paycheck?
He has been earning his paycheck. Yes.
You sure
I
about
haven't
that?
I haven't seen the London game yet, so
No,
I
but
can't
just
tell
in
you that.
general, what's he doing?
Yes, because do you know in my week 2 All-22 team, after the week 2 when they lost to the Patriots, I put him on my All-22 team because he matched up with Brandon Cooks all over the field.
Yeah.
And was phenomenal.
So he's doing well.
He is doing well.
Awesome. Next one. Haason Reddick, 13th pick from the Cardinals. What's he up to? What's he doing?
Is he worth anything?
Yeah, what's he doing?
He's doing good. He
Okay.
really is. He's a phenomenal football player. He is going to be just what we thought he was. Is he a little... and again, the 49ers game is another game I haven't watched on film yet. But I will say this. Is he a little undisciplined at times and over-aggressive? Sure. But does he clean up a lot of trash and make plays with his athleticism? Yes.
Awesome.
He's
Hey,
on his way to Ryan Shazierville.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy he
This
is.
Colts took this guy at 15, man, Malik Hooker.
Oh.
What's he doing?
Yeah, I
Is he
haven't heard
working?
anything.
Ball hawk.
Ooh,
Ball hawk.
really?
I think he's Ed Reedish.
I'm very upset that the Eagles. I like Derek Barnett.
Yeah.
And Derek Barnett played pretty well.
Yeah, he's
had
a
a
good
fumble
player.
recovery and all that.
Right.
But I wanted Malik Hooker so
Yeah,
bad.
Malik Hooker is...
He's special, huh?
I think he could be special.
You
The
just said
way
Ed
he
Reed.
moves around in the NFL field, it sticks out for NFL players.
He had that pick against the Seahawks. He started running, and I went, "Who the fuck
That's
is
what I mean,
that?"
right.
And
He's
I
a-
went, "Oh, that's Hooker."
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a racehorse.
The Ravens took this guy named Humphrey, Marlon Humphrey at Alabama. Is he any good? What's he up to?
He's doing pretty good. He is.
Okay.
First
Is
season.
anyone not doing good?
No, well,
All right, we'll get there.
we'll get
There's
there.
more
But
guys.
I think from what I've seen from him, though, no. I mean, even last week, I just got done watching that film against Pittsburgh. Their corner play was phenomenal. And yes, he was too. I think he let up one catch to maybe Martavis Bryant. I can remember like a deep cross
He's got
in
good
general.
size every time I
He
watch
does
him.
have good size, and I'll say he's probably a hair faster than I gave him credit for at Alabama.
By the way, I'm only asking you the guys that are not running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks.
Yeah,
'cause
the
we can
unobvious
see, yeah.
people, right.
Gareon Conley. What's he up to?
What about Gareon
Conley?
Conley?
What's he doing these
only
days?
played the one game, really.
Oh, against the Jets.
Right, and he was solid in that game,
But he only played one game.
but he's still having
Availability.
this shin issue or whatever.
That's not good.
Yeah, so it's not good. So I don't know.
The last
So
one that
enough
I had a
about it.
question about, Budda Baker.
Budda doesn't.
What's Budda doing?
He's not in all game. He's kind of a spell guy, right? He pops when he's in there. I'm not going to say that at this point he's blowing me away,
okay.
but he makes a few tackles and flies around the field from time to time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody else?
Well, I was going to ask. You guys talked about Jabril on Monday extensively, right?
Exactly.
Well, not extensively, but yeah.
But we talked
I mean,
about how he's
right.
getting burned.
Well, he's yes. They're doing what they did with him in Michigan, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
you said
Which
yeah,
is hiding
hiding them and all that
They're
stuff.
hiding him, right?
Thursday night football. Patriots take on the Bucks. You know that Belichick has never beaten the Bucks in Tampa.
Damn.
He's been coaching since 1975, never beaten them. I'm curious if in your film, Gronkowski talked about inconsistencies with offensive pass interference. And he said, if it was 100% consistent, I'd be cool with it. 1 week we're told we can play. The next week we're told that we can't slap hands. If you touch the guy, it's PI. I just wish I knew it was consistency so I could change what I do in practice.
Right.
Has it been inconsistent?
It has been. You know what's the problem is? It's been consistent this year. The biggest thing is why it's consistent though is
They're letting the defensive guys
they're
be
letting the
handsy and not
defensive
the
guys.
offensive guys.
They're calling a little more offensive pass interference, certainly, yes. So they're not calling every ticky-tack foul on the defensive
I just
side of the
thought
ball.
of the 49ers game
the
at
last-
the end
yeah.
when he pushed off and
Right.
they called that ticky-tack
They're
foul.
not letting that stuff go down as much. So
You're right. I
definitely
have seen a
seeing
lot of offensive pass
There's
interference.
been more than ever, and then
I'm
they
gonna
are
track
letting
that
the
next
defense.
week. I'm gonna
Other
write
thing
that
too
down.
is just let me just jump this because this is one of my themes. I was actually thinking about maybe texting this to you. I mean, look at the receiver numbers for the week. The receiver numbers, people, there was not great receiver numbers this week. I mean, if you look at people that went for 100 yards or did anything special that way, not a ton. Tight ends went off this week.
Yes.
Because you go look at like Charles Clay or Kelsey, Cameron
Zach Ertz
Brate.
had a good game.
Ertz, Cameron Brate for Tampa, the guy who caught the one-handed catch for Denver. Derby, right.
There was 2 touchdowns by the guy in Tyler Croft.
So there you go. So that to me also speaks to why we've had a few lower scoring games across the board to a degree, and we haven't seen. Yes, the receivers are not getting away with their bull crap, and they're letting the secondary guys use a little contact.
The only guy I
outfield.
feel like that gets away with stuff is Hopkins.
DeAndre does get.
I feel like he gets away with
But you
some.
know what it is? He makes it a physical. People get into his face right away because they're not scared of his speed.
Gotcha.
So they get physical with him, and then it just becomes a physical match, and he's willing to play that battle.
So this Thursday night game, T.J. Ward, the newest Tampa Bay Buck, had a little quote about that. I despise Thursday night games.
Yeah.
They talk about how they want to keep us healthy and all the rules to protect the quarterback and protect the receivers, but overall, this is the worst thing for a 53-player roster you can have. I don't even feel right until Thursday or Friday. That's when I'm starting to feel normal. You're telling me you're taking away my ability to recover and be healthy for a normal week, and you're taking 3 days away from it. It's a double negative. Honestly, triple negative, because it's not doing well rating-wise. How about T.J. Ward getting the ratings book?
Looking at the Nielsen report.
Yeah, but it's detrimental to the player's health.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think all of that is true. I think it's taking away from the quality of the game, too, because, again, like we've talked about in years past, right, guys? I mean, here we go. The greatest coach in football has only got 3 days to coach. You're taking away 3 extra days of him coming up with creative shit, or a Dirk Cutter to come up with creative shit. This is the solution's simple. I know you want to cut me off because it's Amendment 11, and you cut me off. But
It's Amendment 10.
10, damn it. But the thing that it is an easy solution for me. Thursday night football should not happen unless you have a bye week before, period. So the team should play on a Sunday. Hear me out real quick. They play on a Sunday. You get 4 days off. No practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, okay, you got to come back into the building and start your Monday work week, right? Not even. You don't even have to come back in Thursday. You come in Friday because really it's not Sunday to Sunday you're preparing a team. It's Monday to Sunday. So come in Friday and we're going to treat it like a Monday. Now, you prepare your normal week. Okay, you play on Thursday. The coaches have a game plan. They've had a few days off, the players and coaches. Yeah, you play on a Thursday, and then you get that a long weekend again. To me, that's the fix. That is the fix not only for the health of the players, it's going to make the game better to watch on TV because they're going to have more creative schemes.
I think it's interesting.
Why haven't they done that? Is there any
I don't
reason?
know. I'm sure scheduling's hard.
I'm sure scheduling's hard because you got to mix the London games in, and then
the owners got
teams started requesting staying on the West Coast or bunching all their there's so many requests.
And I
that come in.
scheduled a Tuesday concert on my course, so I can't. That's the other crap that goes into it. I mean, we're literally adjusting the player's life so.
How much of an advantage?
Venue
how much of an advantage is Belichick going to have over Cutter? Because you know that Belichick prepared for this. I feel like this is a huge coaching advantage for the Patriots.
Belichick is always over-prepared. I wouldn't be shocked if, yes, he spent a week at some point in the spring or something to just go, let's get a little head start on Tampa Bay. So
Quick injury report. Gronk is questionable for Thursday. Levante David and T.J. Ward are doubtful. Quan Alexander is out.
Oh, man.
By the way, the matchup. New England is the number 1 pass offense. The Bucs are the number 3 pass offense. New England's the worst pass defense, and Tampa is the second to worst pass defense.
Baby.
I believe it is the highest over-under in the history of Thursday Night Football.
Damn. What you're going to see here is I can guarantee you New England's going to be really simple in the secondary because Bill's probably like, hey, fuck this shit. Right. We are fucking shit up all over the place.
Fucking stand there.
We're in a bunch. We're just going to play zone. We're not going to try to figure out who's got who anymore. And I would bet you that Tampa takes the same thing. They're just going to go, man, we can't defend this.
I have a feeling the Patriots win by a lot.
Yeah. It's scary just because of that secondary.
The Patriots, I looked back, I believe in the last 3 years, they have an 80% against the spread in terms of covering after a loss.
Oh.
But I did look back, and coming up and out of Lefkoe Field, I'm going to tell you, is there a hangover for teams that beat the Patriots?
Ooh.
When you beat the Patriots, we talked about last podcast, you get really excited.
Right.
Do you have a hangover the next game that's coming up in about 10, 15 minutes?
Okay.
Right now to Lefkoe Field.
I like you.
It is now time for the Celebration Power Rankings, and it was a big week in Week 4. The current leader is still Kareem Hunt. After Week 2, he survived. I am now going to go through the other submissions for the Celebration Power Rankings. First one up, Sims. Devontae Adams, who got destroyed by Danny Trevathan, wanted to feed his players in the food line against the Bears. Devontae Adams scores, and would you like some? Would you like some? Would you like some? Offensive lineman, you've had enough. So
boy.
Devontae Adams, check that one out.
I do like that one.
Next one coming up, it is going to be Dante Moncrief doing a bank heist. They robbed the bank, they threw it, and they ran out of there. This is against the Seahawks. They put the money T.Y. Hilton put on his bag.
Oh,
and
that's
they
what
ran
that
out.
was. I
Yes.
couldn't figure out
And
what the hell
Jack-
they were doing.
Center Jack Muhort was kicking the bank door shut.
Right.
Next one up, Zeke put a little napkin in his mouth and
Yes.
continued to eat and then
Eats.
cleaned off his
Right.
mouth. We are going to go now to the Juju Smith-Schuster Dragon Ball Z. What you believed was Hadouken actually came out to be a Kamehameha.
That's
And
what they do in Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z, Raj, and launched it. That was a good one. You have the Jordan Matthews and Zay Jones playing video games together, which I thought was really good.
Yep.
And then you have the Travis Kelce dance. This is apparently the chicken head dance. This is what happens.
That's pretty good, though, for a white guy tight end.
Well, and I would like to put this out, mentioned by Kaz, who works here. I'm not going to say it. He's just a really good dancer.
Yeah. He's a really good dancer for a white guy.
Yes. And then Wade Phillips, this is not submitted, but Wade Phillips, if you haven't seen Wade Phillips hitting them folks in the locker room afterwards, it's absolutely incredible.
Oh, wait, I want to see it. Does he make a little dance move?
He's 70 years old. This is the dance move right here.
I love watching old coaches try to dance. Oh,
It's the dance move where you go, huh,
Yeah.
that one. So those are the submissions. I think the one that everyone said is the best one so far was the Juju Smith-Schuster Dragon Ball Z. So I'm curious, out of all of them, which one wins week 4? I'll read them back. Devontae Adams Food Line, Juju Smith-Schuster Kamehameha,
I guess that would win if I just
Moncrief-
Street Fighter would have been slam dunk.
Moncrief Bank Heist,
Yeah.
Jordan Matthews Video Game, Zeke Eating, Travis Kelce Dance. Who is your current winner for week 4?
It's between Juju, Moncrief, and I like the Devontae Adams Food Line. That
Okay.
is okay, but I'm gonna have
Don't go with popular opinion, go with Sim's opinion.
yes, I'm going with the bank heist.
Wow. And
pretty good.
If you haven't seen it, check it out. Dante Moncrief Bank Heist. Wow. And a
Right.
surprise loss for the Juju Smith-Schuster.
Sorry.
If that was a Hadouken, would that have automatically won?
It would have definitely made me consider it even harder.
Wow.
But Dragon Ball Z, I mean, they must have copyright infringement on Hadouken.
So, Dante Moncrief Bank Heist versus Kareem Hunt sleeping on the ball.
I still am leaving Kareem Hunt number
Wow.
one. Yeah.
And Kareem Hunt is
I just like
number
the
one.
simplicity, niceness of it. And then it was a grown man who's kicking ass in the NFL, crawled up in like the spoon position and went to
What
sleep
is
on
it going to take to beat? This is a
Man.
big week.
I know.
All right, now let's go to the MVP board. This is an MVP board that we update every single week of the season. We give
Yep.
the top 3. Week 1, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. Week 2 was Derek Carr. Week 3 was Tom Brady. Again, we said we were going to do this to not do just quarterbacks.
I know. It's hard.
The only people that have been multiple times, Aaron Rodgers was number 1 in week 1, number 2 in week 3. Kareem Hunt was number 3 in weeks 2 and 3. Sims, are you ready? I did not remind you.
I'm ready. I'm still at odds end here.
Who is number 3 in the week up until this point of the season? Not just this week, but overall, who is number 3 for the MVP?
Number 3, I'm gonna say, is Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, after a 4-touchdown performance against the Chicago Bears, is number 3.
Number
2.
I think I'm gonna have. This is where I got really. I'm gonna leave Kareem Hunt there.
Number 2, Kareem Hunt.
But he was almost ousted by his teammate.
And number 1.
Is Tom Brady still?
Number 1. Okay. Why? Who did he almost get ousted
I'm just
by?
like, I almost thought about going Alex Smith and replacing Kareem Hunt because Alex Smith does deserve to be in the conversation right now.
He's been unbelievable.
He has been.
Tom Brady, even in another loss, 2-2. Tom Brady, he's been that good for you.
I think he has. Like the game. Okay, I'll say this: when I watched the film back, he wasn't as great as I thought watching on TV. But he still was really freaking good. Yes, he was. I mean, it's just, again, it led me back to like the whole thing where like you want to just talk about I mean, arm strength is not important. I mean, it's Tom Brady's playing at 40 like a baller because he can still pump the ball down the field and throw into tight windows.
Let's talk about that film. It's
Right.
now Sim's Film Review. He sends me his cursive notes, and I read the ones that I find interesting. Typically, triple starred, underline, and exclamation pointed. First one, Patriots and Panthers. You wrote, Kuechly on defense was absolutely amazing in 4 games. I haven't seen him use his head to tackle once.
Oh, I knew you would like that. I knew that. First of all, tackling. Let's just talk about that. The guy is just tackling with his face and his chest the whole season. You know, he's
Is that
obviously
different than what you normally see?
Well, yeah, because linebackers are usually meatheads and just go roar, and just ram their heads into people, just like you saw Denny Trevathan do that to Bondi. I mean, that's what they're taught a lot of the times. He's had the concussion issues. I could tell he's been conscious of it since week 1.
And he's wearing that neck thing
and he wears
we
that
talked about.
woodpecker thing, right?
Yeah,
but
woodpecker.
he comes.
It's true. It's a woodpecker thing.
He comes in like this. I mean, if you could see on video, I mean, it's just the head straight up, and he just go like if he
It's
goes
like
back
he's
a little,
holding
fine.
2 like baskets of apples.
He's like literally just doing that and making tackles. But he was amazing in the game. First of all, I mean, he's matching wits with Brady. He's coaching his defense.
You can see that on the film.
Oh my gosh. And if they mess up, if a defender misses their gap, I mean, and they get 6 yards, he gets up like yelling at the guy who missed the gap. Like, and he's making gestures like, you gotta be there.
So was that fun film to watch those 2 guys coaching against each other?
It is fun film to watch. It's fun film to watch because I don't know if you saw what I wrote too. Carolina is like Seattle. It's a simple defense. They do a few more defenses than Seattle. But what it goes back to is the old adage of like, because you go, well, they're simple. Why didn't Brady and them figure it out? And as I was thinking there and watching the film, I go, you know why they didn't figure it out? Because Carolina is really good at what they do. They're really good at the right positions for the defenses they call, and they know the things that they're susceptible in those defenses. Like they played these 3 or 4
What are they
defenses.
susceptible
Well,
to?
they know like certain routes where certain formations where they're just going to go, I know we're vulnerable down the middle here, and the nickel guy will carry down the middle extra aggressive, and he might give up a 7-yard completion,
Right.
but he's not going to give up like the 80-yard bomb down the middle, whatever it may be.
Next one, Falcons-Bills. This one's an aside. Matt Ryan went in motion and fell down, and it was hilarious.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
I mean, I could pull
You'll
it
show
up.
it to us later.
I can, but
Describe
it was
it.
amazing. They're going into the Wildcat, and he's going to motion out to the receiver to the left, and he falls on his butt as the guy is saying the snap count, and then gets up like really nonchalantly and like points to the referee like, I'm off the ball, acting like it didn't even happen. And here, I actually made a video because, of course, my brother is friends with Matty Ice, and I just wrote like, dude, you got to watch your boy here. But here it goes for you two, just so you can see it. So he's going to go. There goes Matt Ryan in motion. Hold on, I'm describing this to my brother as in the video, but here we go. In motion. And nonchalantly
He felt
just
like a
points back.
toddler. He felt like a
I
toddler
know.
that's like learning how to walk.
I
But
love it.
the other thing you wrote down was Tevin Coleman has to get more touches. Freeman's good, but Coleman is a shoestring tackle away from house calls.
Yes.
During the game, you were in here Sunday.
Right.
I was sitting in that room going, Tevin needs to get the ball every time he's shot out of a fucking cannon.
Yes.
It's incredible to watch.
It is. It's incredible to watch.
I said the Eagles need to sign Tevin Coleman in the offseason. Someone needs to make him a featured back.
Yeah, he needs to be the number 1 back. Devontae Freeman's awesome, too.
He's
We're not-
great.
but they're different style backs. And Freeman can probably make more happen with less. But Coleman can capitalize when there's something there more than Freeman, if
He's
that makes
so
sense.
close every time.
If there's 40 to get, Freeman can get 40, but Coleman might get 70. And that's the thing that I think jumps out to me about him.
Broncos Raiders. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, did you see the Cutler Wildcat play where he just
Just
stood there
stands
and
over
just
there
looked,
and bad
didn't
body
even
language,
move.
Jay?
Did you see that one?
Yes.
Yeah, his optics are so bad.
I know. But you know what I also love? I love how Gase just sticks up for him
Right?
always. It's awesome.
Gase was like, stop asking me
Yeah,
about Cutler. He's
right.
not the problem.
I'm so sick of this crap about Cutler.
Yeah, what is the problem? Is it the
Well,
offensive line?
Yeah, they're not very good on the offensive
I
line.
thought they were good.
Well, I know. They just been getting the beat. We thought they were good. They played the Chargers, which are horrible. on the run defense. It's one of the worst run defenses of football, and yet they just haven't been able to dominate the last 2 teams they've played, which have good fronts. Like, this is not a bad Saints front, and it's not a bad Jets front.
Broncos Raiders. Little quick note: Pecco was beating the crap out of Rodney Hudson all day.
Man,
you were encouraged by what you saw of E.J. Manuel.
I was, yes.
I am very surprised to read that.
I was. E.J. Manuel, first of all, was unfazed by the situation
in Denver against that defense,
and stood in the pocket and made some good throws. And his interception was. You saw the interception.
End of the game.
End of the game.
A
little bit desperate. They had to make something happen. Was it perfect? No, but he made some good throws during the game.
Do you believe that's sustainable?
They have to learn. They have to get back to running the football a little bit. I don't know what's up with the offensive line, but it's the second week in a row that they got physically pushed around. Pecco is a big difference maker for that Broncos defense right now. He's like the under-the-radar MVP of their team, yes.
You also wrote, I get the T.J. Ward move. They must have known he is beat up, and the 3 safeties they got are all good in their own way.
Yeah, they all can do different things to take up for the T.J. Ward. You know, I think that Denver, looking back, and I mean, we shouldn't have questioned Elway. For the most part, Elway's been pretty amazing.
Yeah,
he's been pretty amazing. I think the thing, too, is I think they had an inkling that T.J. Ward was physically coming to the end.
Well, yeah, he's been banged up.
That's what I mean. And the way he
again.
plays, he's a smaller guy that's been ultra aggressive. Simmons is. Every week I watch Simmons and I go, ooh, wow, this kid is like.
You liked him out of Boston College.
I did. He's better, I think, than I even thought. And then the other guys they all have a good mix and they can do everything. Stewart's a great, strong safety, but can also play free safety.
Yeah,
Willie Parks can play nickel and safety, so it's kind of cool.
Steelers-Ravens was fun to read. They don't trust Big Ben, and they shouldn't.
Right. Big Ben is
trash.
I mean, they just don't. I don't know where he's going with the ball. I don't think he knows where he's going. I think they repeat play calls because they're just like, we don't trust Ben with a new one, so let's just give him the old one.
Fendrick, you'll like this. This one's about Flacco because we're going to talk about Big Ben in a second.
Okay.
Flacco. I mean, fuck. 3-man rush, no one open, and he just throws it. No pressure. Make a fucking play. Flacco is so bad.
Yeah. I can't defend it. I mean, I just can't. It's just fucking horrible. It's just like, compete. Do something. Show me you want to win. It's just, it's like it's back to Andy Daltonville. It's like, 3 and out. That was fine. Same face as when we score a touchdown and we're up by 30. Like, all right, make a move. Do something. Extend the play. I mean, he used to be able to do these things, and now it's just like, first read, I'm going to get it in there with my great arm talent. Okay, well, you're wasting your arm talent. Move around the pocket and then make a throw. Yes, it was pitiful football. Pitiful. Absolutely fucking pitiful. The interception at the end of the game was fucking pitiful.
I mean, it was a nice turnaround by Shazier, but he put it on his hip.
I mean, he put it on his hip, and it's just a risky. It's 19-9. The game's in hand still. It's 10 points.
If you want to talk about good quarterback play, Matt Stafford. First Detroit wide receiver that was open was end of the first quarter. Stafford, holy shit. There's only 2 or 3 guys that can do what he do. He's just jamming it in.
Yeah, I mean, there was nobody open in that game. So it was amazing.
Yeah, you said Rhodes is shut down every week.
Rhodes he's in the conversation for that Jalen Ramsey top 3 corner in football. He definitely is. He's amazing. And there was nobody open. I'm not joking you. The end of the first quarter, he threw a whole shot in cover 2 between the corner and the safety. And yeah, it's really only him and Rodgers that can make the throw. And it was amazing. And they could be more patient with the run game. That was the other thing I said about them. Like,
yes,
them and the Vikings don't trust their run game yet. They're like, damn, we got an offensive line. But what do you got to say? You guys are surprising me with something.
No, I'm just doing out of Lefkoe Field. It's out of Lefkoe Field time. First one, Big Ben calling out his receivers. Antonio Brown's causing a distraction that none of us really need. I was disappointed because it's not like I intentionally missed him. It's not like I intentionally didn't throw it to him. I was doing what my reads tell me to do. I don't even want to say that I made a mistake because I was reading the side that I was supposed to read. Blah, 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 blah. Goes along. I wish he talked to me instead of throwing a temper tantrum. He added that he's not trying to call Brown out in his answer. Number 1, you called out Martavis Bryant when he was going through dependency issues. Number 2, you are calling out Antonio Brown. And number 3, Ben, we're fucking talking about it. Why can't you call yourself out for playing like shit?
Right.
Who would want to play with fucking Big Ben right now?
Even added to that, in week 2, he second-guessed the team's stance on the anthem thing. Okay? So I agree with you.
I think Big Ben is maybe, I'm going to call him the worst teammate in the NFL right now.
He's up there, man. I'm not going to lie with you. And this is a guy, let's think about his early career off-field distractions. I mean, let alone the girl problems. How about riding the motorcycle to practice and getting in a crash?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, oh, yeah. I mean,
how about not being in shape?
Right, so that stuff, listen, the rumors have always been there about Ben. He's not the most well-liked guy in that team, period. That's just the way it is. And these are the reasons why.
Yeah, my out of Lefkoe field, though, is no, you can't say at the end, I'm not trying to call out somebody
After you just
called him out
Yeah.
on like 8 different reasons and
Right.
took no blame for the fact that you missed him on the route.
Right.
Fucker.
I know.
Wow, I got really angry.
But that was a good one.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm sweating.
Can you
a little
put your
You
hood
just had
on?
a
Can you put your
big-
hood on
No,
with
I'm-
that and
I'm
then
really-
say Lefkoe,
bit.
man?
L-E-F-K-O-E,
Did you see the
man.
bead of sweat that just dropped off Lefkoe's face? It was just like a waterfall. That was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like
Here's
that.
an out of Lefkoe field. Warren Buffett buys a large chunk of the Haslam family business. Yeah, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. It's an 87. He's 87 years old. He bought 38.6% of Pilot Flying J. Now, the Haslam family will control the company until 2023 when Buffett will own 80% of the company. He owns 0% of the Browns. That's not part of the deal, and some people want him to own part of the Browns.
Yeah.
Out of Lefkoe field. Warren Buffett would be the worst owner in the NFL because of this reason. Warren Buffett only wants to buy things that are proven. So he would pay for something like a 37-year-old Ben Roethlisberger because of a track record. He would not invest in up-and-coming players. He would have an old team of Matt Fortes and Ben Roethlisbergers because they're proven and they would fucking suck. Warren Buffett would be the worst owner in the NFL.
I don't agree with that. I mean, first of all, the NFL, the teams appreciate every year, so maybe it is a guaranteed slam dunk. I think he would be a good owner, too, because he would just lay off. He wouldn't do anything.
That is something he does. He
So,
lays off. But
but I
I
don't
think
know.
he would only want older, proven players. I don't think it's a good strategy. Now let's go to, is there such thing as a Patriots hangover? I went and, including this year, charted the last 5 years of Patriots losses and how the team that beat the Patriots did in the week after. The teams that beat the Patriots...
This is interesting.
This is interesting. Are 10-7 following a win.
Okay.
Here's where it gets interesting. Teams that beat the Patriots that played their next game at home were 6-0.
Huh.
Teams that beat the Patriots and the next game were on the road 4-7.
Wow.
Upcoming this week, the Panthers go on the road to Detroit.
Which is going to be a tough matchup
Oh,
regardless.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to be putting some money on that tomorrow. But I think that was very interesting.
It is interesting.
Now, some of the losses, were Week 17s, like the Dolphins and Bills in 2015, 2016.
Okay.
But teams that have beaten the Patriots, the last 5 have all won their next game. But yeah, I just thought that was an
the
interesting.
last 5 have all won their next game, though?
Yes.
Wow.
Was that an out of Lefkoe field, or that was just a fun
That was
stat?
out of Lefkoe
Okay.
field.
That is
Yeah.
an interesting stat, though. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a correlation or a comeback there. I mean, honestly, I think the records are a little better than I was expecting, actually.
I thought
you-
so, too.
Yeah, okay. Good.
But I just thought the fact that teams are undefeated when playing a home game
I
after
know.
beating the Patriots was a random stat that I really liked.
Yeah, it is. I guess maybe it gives you the confidence, and you just go, we're for real. We beat the Patriots. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, by the way, this is a question from the fans, Andrew Parker. Does Sims's video study back up Brady's claim that penalties seem to be called differently for Pats and Panthers on Sunday?
I didn't see anything to think that. No,
Okay.
I can't really say. And like maybe he's referring to what we already talked about with the Gronk
think
thing
it
and all
was.
that.
All right, now another out of Lefkoe field.
Right.
Sean Payton is the coolest coach in the NFL after already saying that we have problems with Donald Trump in the office because he's willing to speak his mind. He comes out about gun control, and he did say, look, after the death of Will Smith,
Yeah.
he came out hard about that defensive
gotta
end
do something about
that
this
was
gun
shot.
thing, right.
He said the current protocol is not working, the current system is not working, and the madness when you go years and years and years and say, well, the current policies and thoughts are flawed. It's hard to find other countries like that. Here we're educated and forward thinking, and yet it's broken and obvious. And look, if this pisses people off, that's tough. Sean Payton, coolest coach in the NFL.
He is. He's one of the few coaches that's not in the NFL.
Why
that's
do you think is it because he's got job
He's not
security?
living under a rock either. He's like he knows what's going on in the world, I think, to a degree. He's kind of cool. He's got a hot girlfriend that he dates, and I think he's that kind of guy in general. But he's also not beholden to this NFL culture either, where I'm just gonna lock myself in the room and not
We need
talk
to
to
get
anybody.
Sean Payton on the podcast.
He would be awesome to have on the podcast. The other thing too, just with that gun thing. I mean, I don't know. That's just the way I feel. Like, isn't it obvious? Or I'll put it this way. I mean, to me, like, if you're going to have 320 million people in the country and you're going to have guns, crazy shit's going to happen from time
Jimmy
to time.
Kimmel did a really good thing about it.
That's all I'm saying.
He did a really good thing just talking about how did we just lower the standards on people with mental issues being able to get guns and not needing like licenses or something like that. It's a huge issue. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, this is the part of the podcast where we talk about non-football stuff.
I can't. I'm afraid to talk because I could really go off about this subject, but I could get us
So I'm just
fired,
telling you, if you don't like this stuff, I'm sorry. Interesting thing out of Lefkoe Field to talk about. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. Let's just keep an eye on this. Martha Ford, one of the owners of the Detroit Lions, went to the team and said, I will give you money to stop protesting. I will give financial support to causes that you want me to support, no matter what it is, if you stop protesting, which on its face, I think is a really weird thing to happen. I think it's like, oh no, like it kind of seemed like they were buying out players. Here's the deal. A few players have came forward and said, look, Amir Abdullah, I believe, said, if you're willing to support our causes, then I'm all for that. So I'm just saying, let's keep note. Let's see what causes are supported.
Right.
And let's see what happens to the players that have causes supported going forward.
But there's peer pressure from the owner where, the owners are scared of the players.
And that was my thought.
The opposite.
So that's my out of Lefkoe Field. Let's keep an eye on this.
Right.
My out of Lefkoe Field, what the fuck is Ravens fans booing players kneeling when it wasn't during the anthem.
No.
If the players are going to do something that is lessening their protest, but it's not even during the anthem, and then they kneel and you still boo them, then what are you booing?
Yes.
If you're not booing the kneeling during the anthem, then you are booing the protest.
Right.
Then you are booing the fact that these players wanted to stand up for something. And you have no excuse because it wasn't during the anthem and it was the loudest boo I've ever heard. Go on YouTube and type in Ravens fans boo, because to me, that is blatant. Blatant. You can't hide behind the flag on that one.
They're disgraceful. Disgraceful. I mean, first of all, again, I saw it. I was watching it actually live happening because I was sitting on my couch. And, yeah, again, the optics of it don't look good either because it was all white people in the stands. I'm sorry. That's just the facts of the matter. And that bothers me. If you were even booing during the national anthem, how is that less disrespectful than kneeling during the national anthem?
And that's something that Aaron Rodgers has said as well.
He has said that. Good.
Yes.
And I don't get it. Again, it's a double standard that the athlete is held to. I mean, how many games have I been to where the dumb drunk guy is sitting there with his hat on and talking during the national anthem?
What about
nobody cares because he's white?
I am not saying there's anything wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs fans going, and the home of the Chiefs.
Right.
I have nothing against that.
Right.
But then Chiefs fans cannot come out and say it's disrespectful to the anthem. If you're going to yell out the name of your team.
You're going to change the words
to
our
the
sacred song?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. You've disrespected our country.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is that
How
too
was
loud
that,
on you?
Josh?
That was good.
I'm
all for everything that just occurred.
Are we,
Are you tweeting out my picture of the hat?
No, I didn't tweet anything.
Are we...
I've not tweeted anything.
Okay, because Matt Camp just tweeted at me and I thought
I do think it's a double standard too. I'm just last thing because we do talk a little social issues. And I don't know. I do have an issue with what I mean.
Just say it.
That we don't. Why is it not?
Just say it.
Extreme white people terrorism. I mean, if we're gonna want the Muslim thing to be that, I just don't understand why it's not. I think
it's a huge thing. I see it discussed a lot. The discussion of when you talk about someone being mentally ill or you talk about them being a lone wolf, that it's really scary. Obviously, we're talking about Las Vegas right now because you're giving an excuse.
I'm not trying to be insensitive to any of it, but I'm just saying we have a lot of killings of whether it be all the black people killed in the church because of a white person shooting them, the Texas shooting them, Columbine, this incident.
And it's always seen as them being mentally ill or being a lone wolf. And the true thing is that no, it has been a white person every time that has gone and killed all these people.
I don't know.
But you're right. We come up with other words to describe it. And it's really frustrating because
it's just not fair to me.
Because it's like, can you imagine if you were in Vegas? Can you imagine if your kids were in Vegas?
Yes.
And it scares me that someone could have dozens of automatic rifles and got nothing checked and was able to bash open a window. And the thing was, it wasn't even like it was at the event.
My father-in-law
He did it like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, right. I know. I mean, listen, I don't get it either.
Scary.
I told you about my father-in-law. I mean, I would never let him have a gun, and he's got lots of them.
Speaking of guns, I have no transition here. I'm sorry. We gave out the fan pack to Mark Bajan. He's apparently moving to Calgary. So, hey, have fun in Calgary. Bajan, we love you. I can say that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, he's going to Calgary. We have.
I
Some
don't know if that's where he's going.
Oh.
Somewhere in Canada.
Somewhere in Canada. No, don't hide for him. But we have a bunch more people that submitted their name.
I'm out of this joke. What are you guys talking about?
No, remember, we drew a
I know,
name.
like Paige is moving to Calgary?
No, he said that in the DMs.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. So anyway.
You
So
know what a DM is?
Direct message.
Okay, so if you tweeted out to the people, to 5 people and said, hey, check out this podcast, your name has been submitted, we're going to pause this for a little bit just because we want to make it special. But the people that are in the hat right now, Andrew Scherer, Derek Ray Ward, B-Nut, Raya Graber, Reed Mears 52, Tyler J. Reed, John Johnson, Patron James 56, and Mr. Jasko. Sims, put your hand in there. Don't look.
Mr. Jasko.
All right,
I don't know. I'm just saying that because
And
cool
the
name.
winner
I think I got
is-
one. Here we go. Ooh. Reed Mers 52. Reed _ Mers 52.
Mears 52. Josh Fendrick will put together a little Bleacher Report fan pack, and we will send that to
We'll
him.
talk in the DMs.
What up, Reed?
Yeah, Fendrick will be all in your DMs. Also, by the way, Rod Simba apparently has put some songs now on SoundCloud. I will tweet out his songs, and he's asked us to come up with our favorite clips so that he can remix the intro and put our clips in. So Fendrick and I are going to have some homework to do.
Great.
Get to that, guys.
Are you
Yep,
excited?
We'll be on it.
All right, now some iTunes
Get on it
comments
tomorrow.
This one doesn't make sense to me. It is from Davey Meigsy. Not so bad. God bless and happy painting, guys. I don't know what that means.
Happy painting.
Yes. Number 2, Baltimore Brett T. Sims and Lefkoe are okay, but the people want more Fendrick.
Oh, hey. Johnny Button Up. Oh.
Stop touching me.
This one is from Sporsh. Just wanted to let you guys know that Blake
can't.
Bortles is undefeated on 7 of the 8 planets in the solar system. It's
true.
This one's a funny one. This one is from Mr. Clay. Don't play. Respect for the self-scouting every week. I don't believe in expert picks in the world of sports because of the unpredictability.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's the real
Sims
logic.
trust his eye, and Lefkoe is a smooth motherfucker.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I mean, we were, the Monday night was the perfect example. We were right with the game.
absolutely nailed
Doesn't
it.
really matter. I mean, yeah, it's not a perfect sport, and that's just the way it goes.
My question is, who wins in a fight between prime Steve Smith and prime Honey Badger? Two baddest undersized dudes I can remember.
Yeah, they're good
Man.
ones. Man, I would like to see
we
that
need to get
actually.
back to more fighting questions.
Yeah, that was a good. I mean, man, I love me some Steve Smith. I'm gonna take Steve Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, Steve Smith is a underrated powerhouse. I mean, he really is, and there's just no fear in his eyes. When we used to play against him, I'd just be like, damn, he doesn't care about our middle linebackers or anything.
2 questions here about Josh Gordon. One from Optimistic Browns fan called us the God Squad. You guys are the best host in all of football. I have kept up with Josh Gordon. I have high hopes regardless of the controversy. Do you think he'll be getting back on the field soon, and then compare him to the rest of the other players in the NFL? And the other one about Josh Gordon was, love the podcast. This is from MMFHFDF. I don't know.
That's a lot of ones.
Are you curious? Is there any hope of a Josh Gordon return? He has actually not applied for reinstatement.
Yeah, he hasn't done it yet, right? And
Do
he's
you think
training
he-
with the Olympic guy, right?
Yes.
I can't think of
But
his
do
name.
you think he comes back?
I would think so. Yes. I mean, how old? Can you look up how old is Josh Gordon right now? I mean, I'm gonna say he was what, 26 or 7 still.
And the level of his talent, where would he go these
26.
days?
He's 26. He's still in prime time physical.
Top 10 receiver?
I'm not gonna say that, but if I saw him get back and go, oh, he's in shape. I mean, Josh Gordon, you've heard me talk about him before. He's one of those guys when you see him in person, you go, holy fucking shit, that's Josh Gordon? That's a receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's special. And as you're pulling up his pictures right now,
I've
he
never
is
seen someone with
shredded.
that many abs in my life.
He is shredded. He's got one of those TO bodies, but he's bigger than TO.
I'm putting a 1% chance, and I'm putting no trust. And as a Browns fan, I would tell you to move on.
Yeah.
Because it's just I'm not betting on it. If it happens, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a good way to put it.
You know, Martavis Bryant has shown us that it's possible.
Right.
But I think Martavis was a little bit more put together.
Yes, this guy is messed up more than Martavis.
This one's another Seahawks offensive line question from Johnny0953, my first and only football podcast. I literally had never listened to a podcast before. One day, using the BR app, I noticed an ad for this podcast, and I thought, that blonde Sims guy looks familiar. I downloaded the podcast, I listened to the first episode, and I was hooked. You guys keep it real and super honest. Thanks for being a voice of the players. 2 questions. What do you think it will take for the Seahawks offensive line line to get a top 10 unit? And do you think they'll be able to retain the core of their defense, Wagner, Thomas, Cam, Sherm, in the process of improving their offensive line?
Probably not. I think that's coming to an end. I think they probably overpaid a little on all of those guys on the defense, but they had to because they won the Super Bowls. They're not going to get to a top 10 unit this year. My take on the Seattle Seahawks is that they need to just stop trying to be this team that they're not, okay? I mean, we kind of went through this last year where we just said they got to stop like beating their head into the wall and go, oh, we're going to run it and we're going to be the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, and then Russell will make a play here and there in the pass game. They need to come out and be a throwing football team,
They have
plain
the
and
weapons.
simple.
If
Right.
they came out and went Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, Paul Richardson, and Jimmy Graham
Yes.
and spread you out.
And J.D. McKissick down?
And also think about this. You let Russell have running lanes.
Yes, listen. The offense isn't good, so just spread the field out. Let Russell create some plays, create time. He'll make some throws. Do that. Make teams have to prepare for the pass game.
I love it. I think this is a great idea.
And then the other thing I would say to that too, Lefkoe, is it's going to make the run be second, right? And they're going to have the pass game first. It's going to help set up the run game. My other thing to that too, it's going to help their defense.
get them on the field more.
Yes, get them on the field. Make games a shootout. I like your chances, Seattle, in a shootout with that defense because you're going to get to rush the passer and you get a good secondary.
Seahawks should be playing water boy football.
A little
Get
bit.
the defense back on the field.
I agree.
All right, now we have a ton of quarterback questions, but I'm going to go rapid fire. First is a fun one from S. Boogie. Best sportscast known to man. From Sims' deep insight, Lefkoe being a knowledgeable stud, you are the epitome of white boy supremes.
Nice job, Sims.
I appreciate you guys doing more shows and giving out brutally wrong gambling opinions. Keep up the dope show. Sims, if you could choose any quarterback wide receiver combo from today's league, who would it be?
Oh, a combo.
So Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback.
Yeah.
Who's
I
your-
could choose any.
That's what I
Ooh.
want it to be.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. Who's your running back? Is it Le'Veon?
Running back or wide receiver?
What we're doing? It's all three.
Oh,
okay.
that was all three. No, mine I think is going to be, it's going to be Odell, Aaron Rodgers, and I'm still going to go with my man Ezekiel Elliott, even though I
Okay.
still don't think he's where
And
he.
then who is the best that's currently on the same team?
Yeah, they're currently on the same team. Holy cow!
Because usually it's Ben, Brown, and Bell.
That's definitely the leader I'm thinking
Falcons
of right
up
now.
there?
Falcons are, they're really close.
Ryan, Julio, and Tevin Coleman.
I think that I probably would go over them over Roethlisberger and Bell right now, just because I think Freeman.
It's funny because Rivers, Gordon, and Keenan Allen.
Right, and I think Matt Ryan's better than Ben Roethlisberger right now, and I think Freeman and him are really close. I know I'm being fast here. Okay, Jets, Jacksonville, nope. San Francisco, Arizona, no. Philly and the Chargers, the Giants and Tampa, no. Oakland and Denver. I mean, that could have been a possible one, but no. And then Washington, if you know. But I'm gonna go with
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Okay.
I am.
Next one up. Love the podcast. Steven RVA90, and he put 5 goat emojis. More like 5 goats. That's what he wrote. Sims, can you give us some insight on how important the relationship is between the center and the quarterback, that relationship? I'm a Panthers fan. It seems like whenever Ryan Khalil is out injured, the offensive line does not play well. 2015, Khalil played every game. They were 15-1. Missed most of the games we saw was bad. How important is that QB center relationship?
Well,
Did you see the article today?
Talk about it,
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
BR, Josh
Well, you
Fendrick.
were interviewed
No,
for it.
Josh,
All right.
you
But
do
you
the
go.
reread.
You can talk it.
Well, if you go to the BR app, Adam, and you go to the
Yes.
NFL stream, you might see an article written by Don Banks
Yes.
for Bleacher Report today
Right.
about the relationship between quarterbacks and their centers. Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about that relationship?
Well, he named it what? The Legend of Swamp Ass, right? And other pivotal partnerships that go on in the NFL between the quarterback and the center. So the Swamp Ass came from my center in Tampa. His name is John Wade, and his ass was like a swamp, especially in Tampa.
You made him change shorts.
He had to change shorts. I made him come in at halftime and change his pants, which it would piss him off. I mean, I didn't start that, actually. Brad Johnson made him change first, and I just
Did he have to take
continued.
off his cleats and everything too?
Yeah, more times than not, yes.
All right, so check out the article for Swamp Ass.
Right.
But if you lose a center, I mean, how important is the center to the offense?
I would argue that it's maybe second to only the quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the
More
center
than left tackle.
It's right up there with it. It's a very close discussion there.
Man.
Yeah, the center, first of all, is usually the leader of the group. He is the smartest guy of the group. He's going to basically know what the quarterback wants to do as far as, oh, they're going to blitz. The quarterback's going to want to check to this, or, oh, they've changed their front. We need to make this guy the mic instead of the other guy the mic. And the relationship is great also because the quarterback can hold the center accountable to hold the other lineman accountable. And it's a great relationship. You know, I don't think most people realize that NFL football players don't wear cups, right? And the center doesn't wear a cup. So the first time you stick your hand down a new center and get the snap, you get to feel his balls and his ass crack all in one. It's phenomenal.
Sounds
that's
amazing.
what this story was all about. Peyton had some good quotes in it. I was really cool to see Peyton actually be really honest. I mean, he used the word cock and balls and everything. It was kind of funny.
Well, Peyton does like to just throw those things around. Question for Sims, Andrew Corbin. This is one of my favorite questions we've ever gotten. Why do quarterbacks duck their heads after they hand the ball off? I haven't seen it as much recently, but started noticing it 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
It's a great question. Why the fuck did y'all do that?
Well, they do it on handoffs a lot of the time because you end up having to reach a little bit more than you think. So it's just a natural thing to like, oh, I got to get all the way out there to get him the ball. And you're reaching to your utmost potential, and I think I've talked to you about this in years past, because you don't want to crowd the running back. First of all, you don't want him to trip on your feet, right?
Right.
So you'd like to keep the space. But more importantly, the good running teams are going to teach the quarterback, keep the space so the running back can still see the cutback lane instead of you blocking it, right? So then the reaching leads to the head bob, and then which also leads to now the play action needs to look like the actual handoff, so actually dip your head when you do that as well. Josh was actually interested in that.
That was
I think it was one of my favorite questions. I'm glad you got
good answer.
This is from Three Eagles fan. Question for QB Guru Sims. I've noticed my boy Wentz has struggled with a deep ball this year, and I wanted to ask if there's something he can work on, or is it just a feel thing that he doesn't have?
Yeah, I think, again, I don't look at it as a big issue. I mean, yeah, I guess he's missed a few bombs, right? He's missed maybe 2 or 3 just true bombs down the field. But
I thought he threw really good deep balls against the Chargers.
He did, and there was one even early in the year. I mean, he threw a deep ball to start the year. I mean, of course, the Redskins, that was on target. Again, I just think it's more of a thing where they don't throw it deep a ton. They're more of an intermediate to lower.
So the few opportunities we see it.
Yes, and he has, like, the Chargers game, he threw one deep one. The ball definitely got away from him. My big thing with Wentz is, like I've always told you, he's the man. He's a baller. He needs to tighten up that throwing motion. And when you're going to throw the far one, right, Lefkoe, look at me real quick, and you go, okay, I want to put like the extra, steroid jerk into it. You go, and to go that extra long movement with the extra oomph you want to put on it, it's like reaching back for a driver, right? You're going to lose control of it a little, if that makes any sense.
I love it. All right, 2 more quarterback ones. 848-373-G. This podcast doesn't just set the bar. It is the bar.
Bang!
When I first started reading this, I thought it sounded like the beginning of a Tinder profile. Hey guys, I'm Eric from Minnesota. I'm 18 and new to podcasts.
Hi, Eric.
This was my first podcast ever, and it's been my favorite ever since.
Welcome.
My friends are sick of me talking about you guys.
Aw.
Eric, I fucking love that. You're the man. No other podcast entertains and educates like you guys. I'd like to know your opinion on Trubisky starting for the Bears on Monday Night Football. What effect do you guys feel he has? I've sadly been a Bears fan my whole life, and I see this time again come up short. Can you tell us Bears fans that Trubisky will have any effect on our future? He is a Bears fan in Minnesota, first of all.
In hostile territory.
But what do you think? Do you think Trubisky will be the guy?
Trubisky, I thought was the MVP of the preseason. Out of all the players in football, he was the most impressive guy. He was phenomenal throwing the football, phenomenal athlete, demeanor was really good. I think he's going to be a superstar. I really do. And I think he's really going to help the offense out, which is lack of void of weapons, right? We know that. He's going to be able to move, escape the pocket, maybe not get hit and fumble like Glennon does, because he'll be more apt to move and get out of the pocket and get out of trouble. But this is a team that's got a good offensive line and a good run game. And if Tony Romo, he said it on Thursday night, the team is really set up, the offense is really set up for Trubisky to be the quarterback. It makes more sense for him to be the guy because they're going to be able to do the play actions and the boots and the movement things that you want to do off of their run game. And they're going to be able to do it in the shotgun as well. And it's going to change all of that. I would expect Dow Logans has a really good game plan for him this week. The extra days, you got 11 days to prepare. And, hey, this defense, he's playing the Vikings.
Who are they playing again?
The Vikings.
Damn.
Yeah, so he's in Minnesota.
Take
he's got to deal with
under.
that. That's going to be a tough one. But if there's a team to take advantage of the over-aggressiveness on, it is the Vikings. That is one thing they're a little susceptible because they're that way.
This is the last one. Two Kings Sports Talk, Ed. Great show, longtime listener. What's Sim's take on Baker Mayfield and his prospects in the NFL? I figured we'd end with that one to get you a little excited.
I do like me some Baker Mayfield. First of all, right now the Heisman race is between him and Saquon Barkley, right? Period.
Saquon Barkley's incredible.
He's a beast. He is.
Saquon Barkley, Kirk Cousins, San Francisco 49ers 2018.
But the Baker Mayfield, I don't give a shit about his height. He's 6'1". I doubt he's 6'1". I've seen him in person. I was on the field with him when he was one of the quarterbacks at Texas Tech. I'm going to say he's high 5'11s, maybe a 6 foot even.
So Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes were on the same team?
Yes. Well, no, he left because of Patrick Mahomes.
I would have too.
Right, because I think the story I've heard is that Cliff Kingsbury basically said, like, hey, we got a stud coming here, and I'm going to kind of make him the guy. I promise you, Baker Mayfield, if you go back and watch my Fox Sports 1 announcing ability, Texas Tech versus Kansas, I even said then, hey, this Baker Mayfield's legit. Like, there's no question he should be the starter. But my comparison, I've been saying it. He's Russell Wilson-ish. He's small. Is there going to be times in the NFL he won't be able to see people over the middle? Sure. But he has a legit big-time NFL arm, and I think he's a legit athlete, and he's a legit competitor. And I think he's going to be successful. I don't give a shit about his height. I think he's one of those guys that's the outlier.
Awesome. All right. So, guys, thank you so much. This was episode 134. We will be doing our pick show, and that will be coming out. Sims and I both lost a lot of money. Not a ton, but
I think I lost a ton.
We got fucked. Colts, Redskins. It
happens.
wasn't good. By the way, guys, if you want to watch this on video, I am posting all the videos to my personal YouTube account. If you go to YouTube and you just type in Adam Lefkoe and then the number 1, you can watch all of these episodes. A lot of people are saying you need to publicize this more. I love watching the shows. I usually post them the day after it comes out or the day the podcast is released. So check it out. Just go to YouTube and type in Adam Lefkoe 1. For Christopher Sims.
Peace out, homies.
For Joshua Fendrick.
Good night, everybody.
For Big Phil Sims, I am the Lefkoe man, and I will holler at you guys later. Love you so much. You got something to say?
No, I want to make fun of you, but go ahead.
We'll do it after the show. Save it for the podcast. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.